time for the Luke Howard Show live. Thank you for that lovely introduction. Morning, it is Saturday the 4th of April 2020 and we are still here. But I'm following the rules, you know. Well, I'm on my own, so I can't really follow the rules, to be honest with you. We've lost half our team because of all of this. So what can we do? What can we do? So I'm basically doing the show on my own at the moment. But it's lovely. I love doing it on my own. I know we've lost the producers, we lost everybody, but I'm still doing it on my own because I can do this on my own. Okay, so coming up on the show today, we're going to be talking about the big clap for the NHS that happened on Thursday. We did it. We stood outside our house and we clapped with all our neighbours. It was amazing. Now, next week, we're going to do something different. What we're going to do is we're going to do the saucepans because we didn't know you could do it. Do you know what? We didn't know we could do it with saucepans. We didn't know that you could clap with saucepans. So we're going to do that next week. So it's going to be a weekly thing. So we'll be doing that next Thursday at 8. We're going to be doing the clapping. And we've got lots to talk about that. And then we're going to... because it's just too much for everybody at the moment, isn't it? So I'm going to cheer everyone up with another story, and that's Matt Lucas. He's going to be joining Great British Bake Off, so I'm going to be talking about that in a moment. And I'll be playing some great music. But first, we're going to start in a very unusual way because we are going to stick with a story about the virus because we had an email the other day from a lady called Ergen Jackson, and she lives in Italy. She lives in Italy, and she sent us an email, and she wanted us to say this on the show. So she said, "Hello, I'm Ergen Jackson, CEO of Imperex and Amazon Alexa Champion." Now, she basically wants us to join Amazon Alexa, and that'd be great if we join Amazon Alexa, because if you've got one of them Alexa things, you can just sit there and say, "Play the Luke Howard Show," and then it will come up. That is a really good idea, and I'd love to do that. But I've tried it the other day, and we couldn't quite get it right. Me and my father couldn't quite get it right. So we're going to try again later on and see if we can do it again. So she said, "We have been in quarantine for more than 30 days since COVID hit Italy hard." And she said, "At the beginning, we were very scared, and honestly, we are still today. As an entrepreneur with a startup to launch, I am prepared for difficult situations, but honestly, my team and I were not prepared for this. A few days after the start of the quarantine, however, I decided not to give this up. I immediately understood that a new era is coming, and as a human being, I have the duty to adapt to this new era for the good of my employees and my family. Changes also mean opportunity, as humans we were made to adjust to adversity and then rise again. So I immediately changed the way I work, looked for new technologies. I started studying new things to help my startup grow. I want to give you this message because as human beings, we also need small gestures like this, because these gestures make us understand that we are not alone and we must not give up. In the next few days, I will share with you what I learned about voice technology, which is true because we will be keeping you updated about this as well, and how you can use it to your advantage. Many say that voice as the future, and I am convinced of this. Many say that voice is the future, and it's true. Moreover, we are launching Hypervox, and I want to invite you to try it for free. Our platform Imperex allows everyone to publish a podcast on voice platforms like Amazon Alexa in minutes. Now, following our steps, you can make your podcast available to more than 10 million users with wherever they are. It takes very few steps and instruments to very intimate. To get started, Alexa open the Luke Howard Show. Any feedback is appreciated for us as a startup. It is very important. And she said, "P.S. I found your contact looking at your podcast, Luke Howard, the interviews." And she said, best regards and stay safe. And this is Jackson Rademi, and I want to thank her very, very much for getting in touch with us. So thank you, Jackson. Thank you for getting in touch with us. And if any of you would like to get in touch with the show, we'll get to that in a minute. We'll get to that in a bit. But first, we're going to start off now with the paper. So I just want to say thank you very much to her for getting in touch with us. Thank you. Mwah. Mwah. Okay, so we're starting off today with talking about the big clap that happened on Thursday once again. Now, Her Majesty joined everybody, and the Prime Minister joined everybody, even though he hasn't been very well, but he's still come out there, and he's still been doing his clapping and his bit. But I thought we had the coronavirus, and he's still coming out to say his bit, which is really good. Now, Eamon Holmes and Ruth Langsford did it as well the other day, and This was clapped for our carers, and they saluted to doctors and nurses as well as other key workers doing their bit to keep the country running, which is true. Now, fireworks filled with skies while children we had fireworks up the road from where I live. There was fireworks going and everything. They proudly held a handcrafted thank you NHS signs featuring pictures of rainbows, and because everywhere I go, wherever I've been this week, I haven't been very far, but every house I saw, been going on my walks and stuff, all the houses have had rainbows in them, which is, I think it's a sign of respect for it. I think it is. It's something like that. It's a sign of something. I know it is. So they were representing hope that the country will overcome and COVID-19 pandemic. The mass clap swept the country at 8 p.m. on Thursday, with people living in flats cheering from open windows and families. I must feel really sorry for people who live in places like that at the moment with all this going on. But anyway, they were on their doorsteps. Celebrities also took part. Chris Evans took part. Ex-footballer David Beckham took part. Kylie Minogue, Anthony Joshua took part. Now, the organisers of the clap for staged because during these unexpected times, they need to know we are grateful, because we are grateful for what we get. We are all grateful. We are all we're all grateful for what we get, and they followed similar moves in Italy and Spain. With they had the world's highest death tolls, where there were astonishing scenes last month as people applaud from terraces in the countries and cities. The Sun backed up the UK event, and they said that it will take place every Thursday at 8 p.m. and until the crisis ends. I suppose it'll take till it all ends. Now, the Health Secretary, Matt Hancock, I hear that he's got it as well. I hear that he's got the coronavirus. I'm sure that's right. Well, he thanks lots of people for their involvement. He said that they are leading the change on this, and I pay tribute to their work in making sure that across the NHS and across the social care and other public servants know that they are valued for the work they are doing. Sometimes it's very dangerous. Work is to tackle the virus. The other night, the applause was not just for health workers, it was also for emergency services, of course, armed forces. Now, we saw a nurse the other day in a car over at Alswick Hall yesterday afternoon. This was we saw a lady in a car. She was struggling to try and find someone's house. Now, she was looking for a road in Buntingford that I never heard of before, but she ended up in the middle of nowhere, and she was asking us where to find it. We didn't really know where it was, and we thanked her. We still thanked her for what she does, and that was a nurse, and she was trying to look for someone. I don't know what she was for a road, but we didn't know where she was going. She ended up in the middle of nowhere when she was looking for a road in Buntingford as well. But I'm sure she found the road she was looking for. But we want to thank here for everyone at the Luke Howard Show. We want to thank all the key workers, nurses, everyone out there. We all want to just say a big thank you. Mwah. Lots of love to all the key workers out there, and we wish them and cleaners, of course, and vets and engineers, everyone out there who's been working at this time. And we just want to say thank you to everyone who's been working at the moment. Everyone, builders. Well, they've stopped the builders from working now, but we just still want to say thank you to everyone who's been working out there. But they've all been making an unbelievable difference to our lives in these challenging times. People are now, people are just doing it, aren't they? They're just getting on with it. But they're just getting on with their lives, and then, it's just happening, really, isn't it? It's all just happening. Listen to this. There's another story that I wanted to talk about. The F1 boss Bernie to be dad at 89. Now, the Formula 1 chief Bernie Ecclestone is to become a dad for the fourth time. Let's come away from coronavirus and talk about this, and then we'll come back to it in a minute. Well, he's to become a dad. Is to become for the fourth time at the age of 89. Wow! He's revealed that Whoa, really? He's revealed that wife, Fabelina, Flossie, 44, is pregnant with a son as the pair self-isolate at home in Brazil. The grandfather of 5 will be just weeks short of his 90th birthday at the time of this new arrival. He said that it is due in the summer. Hopefully he'll learn that this will be the billionaire Tynun's first boy after daughters Deborah, 65, Tamros, 35, and Peter, 31. Fabelina said, like all parents, we have only one wish. that this child must be born healthy, and hopefully he will never express any interest in doing something in Formula One. Bernie added, after my Formula One time, we've had plenty of time to practice, and Mr. Ecclestone, who has built an established 2.5 billion fortune from Formula One, has been married 3 times, would you believe? And he's first to Ivy Burnford, and then to cross-stay model Slava Radic. Now, Fablina was a marketing Fablina, or director. Yes, she was a marketing manager when they met through the World Motorsport Council in 2009. They married 3 years later after Bernie's divorce from Savlida, and so there you go. Amazing story, isn't it? Absolutely amazing. Really, really good. Now, they're saying there's something else that was in the papers I want to talk about that was the other day, and they're saying testing, bloody. NHS bosses are flying hundreds of staff swabs to Germany for virus testing, as it is twice as fast as getting it done there. Now, the other day, just 75 workers were tested at Chessington World Adventure, which shut for lunch. Public Health England facilities can make up to 4 days to test some samples, and they say that sources, but German labs are flying in and processing swabs on the same day. The NHS staff then get their results just 2 days after total UK daily testing for the virus was 10,657 on Wednesday, and it will be weeks before we hit the 20 to 25,000 mark promoted by the PM. Now, Germany is carrying out 70,000 a day, about 5,000 NHS staff out of the frontline workforce of more than 500,000, I think it is, or 5,000. Have been tested. I was going to say 500,000 is quite a lot. They were tested yesterday. It is estimated that 85% of self-isolating staff could return to work if given the all clear. Now, yesterday, Health Secretary Matt Hancock said that he wanted 10,000 daily tests by the month's end as part of a new 5-pillar strategy. It includes working with private labs on to boost checks on NHS staff and screening the public to see if they are immune from the virus. Ministers also aim to build mass testing facilities to meet future demand. Now, Mr. Hancock said that the UK did not have a diagnostics industry like Germany, so that he was building, from scratch maybe, and swabs had been resolved, but there remained a global challenge in sourcing the chemicals needed for kits. He said that Mr. Hancock added that I understand that the staff want tests, but I look at the decision that the priority has to be patients for whom test results could be the difference between life or death. Northampton General Hospital sent samples from 400 staff to the German labs of Influence Bloemus on Monday, and the results were returned on Wednesday. Kettering on Wednesday at this Hertfordshire Healthcare. They've also been invited to take part, a source said, at PHE, and said that they'd been able to get results back within 24 hours, but they don't have the capability for that turnaround, and it's refused as well. So, okay, so we're going to talk about Matt Lucas now, because he is going to be on the Great British Bake Off, would you believe? Sandy Tosvig's left. No! So, Matt Lucas is going to be on the show. And I reckon David Walliams and Matt Lucas could be the new Chuckle Brothers, don't you think? That's what I think, because they did that Come Fly With Me and all of that stuff, didn't they, which was really good. But anyway, the new charity single, Thank You Baked Potato, a written comedy song from his Shooting Stars, says that in which a baked potato sings quirky public health information. What's this? Is this got anything to do with them, is it? Lyrics including "Wash Your Hands." Because he made a new song, Matt Lucas, didn't he, about it all, about the baked potato and the "Wash Your Hands" song, which is really good. He was watching its growing success. Matt joined forces with actor pals Damian Lewis and Helen McCroy alongside Leon Restaurants, just telling them all about him. He said, I was surprised people even remembered it, really, and suddenly I was getting people sending their own clips back of themselves and their children performing the song. That's what he said. He pulled the song about the NHS, that's what he did.